What's up, you dudes? Today we're here with
Weavepancho.
and we're on the Fork and Knife Show. Welcome in. Today you're going to learn more about us, my brand, Weaver's brand, how we identify with certain parts of our brand, and just storytelling. Just pick our brains and have a usual type of conversation me and my pal Weaver here have. So get ready, enjoy the ride. It's an interview with my guy,
Weaver.
And we'll be talking brand identity, style, things we like to do, things that help keep us balanced. We'll just be chit-chatting, and then at the end, you'll get to see him style himself in some of my brand. Tell us how he feels. Tell us where he'd go. Let's go. You share with us the origin to moving to LA, as well as, you know, your brand and just the journeys that you're on right now.
Yeah, I would say I lived here for about a year, moved away, and then came back 2 years ago. At that point, originally I used to resell vintage. And then that turned into the brand that I have now, the Ancient Youth, all like upcycled pieces, lots of one-of-ones, very limited quantities, and just the focus on, you know, the art and like the craft and like a lot of attention and detail just in each piece.
Mm-hmm. And you sew everything basically yourself.
Yeah, I outsource a little bit of work, but almost everything is hand sewn by me.
I'm a big fan of the brand, and he's we pick each other brains a lot about storytelling, and we're on this journey together. This is definitely my brother in this journey, and that's why it was important to have him. I speak with him and I learn stuff about my brand, so I'm hoping that we can have the type of conversation that inspires you to discover more about yourself and your brand as well. Oh yeah, music. You didn't let us know you make music either, right, bro?
We're all multifaceted beings out here. Yes. Music's my first love, and that's been the focus for me. Like since I graduated high school, I've been on the music journey. I guess I've always been an artist, like a visual artist as well. So it surprises me, and also doesn't surprise me that the visual arts and the clothing is like become such a big part of my life too. So now I would say now, like my brand, the Ancient Youth, and the music both kind of get equal amounts of attention because they are very much kind of one and the same. They're both in the same universe, you know. And now I'm really working hard on kind of crossing those quite literally and letting people just kind of step into my world, you know, through both or just through either or.
If you had to title this like moment right now, or this like, let's say, chapter of life, what would you title it?
Calm before the storm.
Okay. You're embracing the calm.
Yes. We just talked about this
yes,
recently too.
Something that's hard to do, something that I struggle with a lot, embracing the calm. Being able to, for me, what I say is like those first 30 minutes to an hour of just like trying to be calm and let things come to you. I feel like that's the moment where you're telling yourself that it's not worth it, or that you can't do it, or that like it's a waste of time. You got something better to do. But once you get through there, you really start to see. And it takes validation sometimes from other people, but you really do like, and that's why I love having conversations with him like this, because sometimes I might just say I might be thinking I wasn't doing nothing all day, but the way that it comes out my mouth, I'm like, oh, that's what I was really doing. And talking to him about that allowed me to really express and explain to myself what I was doing.
I think the more that you create too, like that moment you were just talking about, those initial moments where you do have some of that resistance come up, some of those voices of like doubt come in. I think the more that you create, the more that you realize that's just a part of the process, and you can, you can work your way through that. And it's almost like the closer you get, the more resistance you're going to get as well. And just to like know the place of those voices and actually like know the function of them and how that can help fuel an idea and like take it to where it needs to go. And then it's not as intimidating, you know, when you get into that process again the next time, because you understand it for what it is. And
right. Yeah. Something that I learned in my last drop was just how intense it is. And I kind of like took that and ran with it for a few days just in my head and in my journal, where I was like, okay, that's a good way to explain how I feel right now. It's intense. I don't feel bad. I don't feel good. I just feel like intense. I feel like, you know what I mean? I'm busting a mission. How do you deal with that intensity? Or like, for me, I'd say I have a lot of things. You know, I'm running every day. I got my dog here, and I'm journaling a lot. I meditate a lot, but I do I still battle with like how intense it feels sometimes. And just in the hot tub last night, I had to say, this is a moment where I could either pity myself and how much I'm doing, or I could challenge myself to do even more. Because for me, I can't stay even. I got to like challenge myself to do more, or I got to feel bad that I'm doing so much.
And it feels like complacency is the enemy, right? It's like, I know for you and I, and for like even some of the other people in our circle, it's like as soon as you start to feel complacent, like we're like, all right, this is not it right now. You know, it's got to go one direction or the other. And I mean, same for me. I definitely like a lot of like meditation, just time for myself, time outside, I think is good. Working out as well. I skate, so like going and have like skate sessions multiple times a week definitely helps like keep me grounded. I think physical things help a lot. Personally, like I know that even if I'm like locked in all day working on ideas, working on whether it be music or the clothing, if I do feel a bit stagnant at moments or I feel maybe stuck, I'll try and break it up by like going out, going on a run, doing a workout, going to skate. And then even if it's 30 minutes and then coming back and I just feel like I like reset everything, you know?
Yeah, that's a bar. A lot of times that I'm doing like this content and stuff, and it gets to the point where I have to make edits on my phone or make drafts for Instagram and TikTok, I'll go outside and I'll walk around while I do it, because just being outside kind of helps me feel a little more calm. So That's definitely a bar. There's something about going outside and doing active things. I know one thing too, for sure, is like a long run is reducing anxiety. It's kind of hard to go on a long run and come home as anxious as you were before you left.
Actually, to that point of a long run, I was just thinking about this, like the parallel of what I was just saying about the creative process, where there are those moments when those voices of doubt can come in. I always feel like that's the case with a run, where like the first couple minutes of a run, there's that voice who's like, fuck this. Like we could just go home right now. We could just be kicking it. But you know, as soon as you get through the whatever that period of time is with those kind of voices, you're chilling. And it's like, there's like this sense of like calm, and you're just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I experienced that today. The first like 10 minutes of my run, I was like, man, my legs hurt, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt. Have I been doing too much running? And then maybe like 15 more minutes later, I had a moment where I was just like, oh, there it is. I'm floating. Like it took me a little bit to get to my float, a little longer than usual. But yeah, you make it through that moment. Tell me something that is coming up for the brand.
Actually, well, it's actually both right now. I mean, I have taken a little bit of time to not necessarily be releasing stuff, to just kind of do some behind the scenes like planning, because I do have a lot of music on the way. And like I said, the clothing and the music are coming as a package almost now. So I've done it. We've done a couple shows here in LA at Earthling VIP showroom, where I've dropped a single and I've made like a small collection that is directly inspired by and connected to the music. So drop the clothes, have a show in the same place, same evening. And that's basically going to be the formula for me moving forward. Like I have some smaller projects and singles. I just have a lot of music on the way. And I'm going to be essentially doing that same thing, having clothes that are directly inspired by the music coming out at the same time. So it's just been me like taking some time to kind of plan out the best way to do this, like how I want to greet people and invite people into my universe and into my world. And what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Obviously, with the sonic side of it, I would say it's like there's a lot bubbling underneath the surface for me right now that's about to like come to light for people to see and hopefully enjoy, you know?
I feel like as I asked that, I thought about it. I was like, it's such a loaded question, because it's like, as a creative, especially once you embrace the journey, you do really get lost in like what's next. Some of the least pleasurable moments of this journey is when I'm thinking about what's next. Like I'm kind of just in a flow. Like you said, like you've been doing these events, and that's what's inspired me to do my birthday party release event. I had no idea I was going to do that or release new clothing for it, but now I am, and that's my new project currently. And I also started my YouTube the same day I decided that. So it's multiple projects, and if you ask me what was next 2 days before that, I probably wouldn't have had that answer. So it's definitely a loaded question.
I would say if I was to add one thing to my answer, it would just be that I'm trying to become more and more fluent in my creative language. To your point, because like you're saying, it comes out in so many different ways. I mean, all the people that I know and love here in LA that are also creators, they're creating in so many different mediums and like so many different worlds. Like it's the same language, just, you know, applied in different places. So
where's the process start at? Or like, what's the process meet? You know what I mean? For me, the process is like you came in here, this classical music playing. I need it to be like silence. And then just recently I put these pictures up on my wall. I did a lot of time on like Vogue Runway and the iPad. And I've started to learn that the drops for me are a big like dump of almost my personality. Or like if I'm writing a book right now, every drop is a chapter. And I'm just curious of how other people go.
It's like an accumulation of your downloads from that chapter.
Exactly.
I would say like that's kind of how it's been for me in the past, but now it's changing because I am connecting the music and the clothing. It's almost like the music informs the clothing. So for me, the music almost always starts just with beats. It's like I rap and I sing, so the production usually comes first for me, and that inspires whatever's gonna come out. And so now it's like the music comes first, and then, like I said, that informs the clothing. So sometimes the take can be literal. The tee that I'm wearing was for the first single I dropped called Blue Powerade, and I took like one line from the song that ended up being a back graphic. I took a line that ended up turning into the graphic that turned on. It's just like everything was like quite literal, and then there's other ideas that I have that aren't maybe as literal, but yeah, I would say just now it's starting to change for me, and that's part of the reason I've been taking the time to just see how that feels, like taking something from A to Z in this way with this new perspective, like see how that feels, and getting comfortable like in this new flow and in this new process. But I really like it. I'm actually finding it's making the clothing creating more enjoyable.
I'm learning now as you're speaking, and I like that process. I like how that sounds. I'm excited to see how that works out in the future.
But it's also like, I mean, I know for you and I, we're out in the world a lot too. It's like I could just see some old dude with the flyest fit on, and just like the way he's wearing the pants that he has on, I'm just like, yo, like I've never even thought about that right here, what I'm seeing in front of me. And then, I take that, like I said, it's like almost like one of those downloads. And it's like, boom, taking in all these things. And then I think that's where it comes back around to like those moments of like not only silence, I would say, but just like sitting still. That's how you worded it to me recently. Like how for you, and it also is true for me, one of the most important parts of the process, and maybe even one of the most difficult, is just sitting still. So it's like in those sitting still moments that I feel like all of those downloads kind of like come back up, and you can see them and like sift through them and even like be able to make a vision board.
Somebody recently said like, oh, you need to process. And that kind of took a weight off my shoulder where I'm like, yes, like almost I like getting up early because almost the first hour and a half is just processing. I'm just processing through like negative thoughts. I'm processing through ideas. I'm processing through everything that will allow me to do action. You know what I mean? I don't get up straight ready for action. I process a lot of like the things I need to do for my brand. I need to process a bunch of times in my head before I actually go make the action. And I need that time. If I don't give myself that time, it'll look like I'm procrastinating, but it's really like I just haven't processed, and there's no way without the processing can I upload.
Comes with the dog segue.
You know what I mean? And we're gonna do some activities here, some brand identity activities, answer some questions that I have written down. All right, so you got
Weaver.
And you got August, and this is the Fork and Knife Show. And right now we are going to do brand identity activity. It's something I like to do. One of the most important things in what most of our conversations are about, our brand identity. So I just like to display some of those practices with you. These are things I kind of do by myself, and it has really, really worked tenfold for my brand. It's helped me, and just honestly just feels fulfilling. Every time I learn something new about the brand, I feel more fulfilled and I feel more pointed in the right direction. So I want to allow you guys to be a part of that process and show you guys just how to do some of those things and have some fun with it. So the first question I will be asking, or that we'll be answering, is what kind of car is your brand? Ah, that's nice. That's nice. All right. And then we do a 1, 2, 3. And then we explain. You go first.
I just said a little broad spectrum of just like older Ford Broncos to me, because maybe even similar to why you chose this too, making my assumptions, because it's like everything I make is with recycled garments and materials. So I'm taking old, making them new. And I just like, when I look at those older Broncos now, like the wear on them is so beautiful, but it's also like super functional. And you can just tell it's like structurally very sound.
Me, I said Jeep Trackhawk, and I actually have the new Ford Bronco up on my mood board back here. It's my brand identity mood board because I like the way that new Ford Bronco looks. I chose a Jeep Trackhawk because it's like fast and nice looking, but it's also very functional and it's built tough. And you know what I mean? It's sound. And like you said, it's built sound. And I think what I'm trying to depict with my brand or represent with my brand is like that functionality that like it looks like it's built sound, but it's got all those bells and whistles that like the street guy likes or the streetwear like person. So it's like it goes fast. You know what I mean? So this to me is like it's like the Ford Bronco. It's like all those type of cars that are tough and are square, but this one go fast.
That makes me think because you have the new Ford Bronco on the mood board. It's like I was excited when I saw the new one because you know how it is with sequels. Like you could easily ruin something that was great by trying to do it again, but they knocked it out the park, and I think that actually plays into my brand and the concept of my brand as well. Being like, you know, taking the old, making it new, and just making something that's gonna last and like something that's timeless. I think is important to me, you know.
Next we have day at the park or day at the beach. Which one is more the vibe? 1, 2, 3. And I'll go first this time. I chose day at the park. And I'm literally just expressing what I do more. I go to the park with my dog a lot. We play fetch. I guess you could consider one of these parks I go to a hike too. I'm throwing hike in there with park. I like to like do those little type of things. I like to like have snacks with me and stuff. I guess you do that at the beach too, but I'm still for sure. Anyway. For sure, you can bring snack and bev to beach for sure. But I'm also like still perfecting beach. I can't even lie. Like I know this is about brand identity, and literally I just think more park with my brand, or like the guy is at the park instead of the beach. I feel like I know what the beach is, and I want to make a collection like that one day. But I think I resonate with park more. But I still haven't even just like being a regular beacher. I feel like I always fail, or maybe it's an ongoing failing situation, but I'm usually going with a chick. I've got like a bag with a blanket. I've got like shoes over here and bottles of water and wine. And I'm like carrying everything.
Takes a little bit more preparation. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. And I'm ashamed to say it for that. I love the beach. I've been here. Since I've lived here in the 2 years I've lived here, I've probably been to the beach like 5 times because of that. It is a mission, and I'm always doing shit. So, but I think just the water element to me, there's like such a powerful energy from the ocean that maybe it serves a bit of a different role. It's like I know you like to go to the park and like you'll bring the iPad and like be sketching and stuff like that, which I'm also down for. And I feel like the type of productivity I have going to the beach is a little bit different, because it's a little bit more of like a cleansing of the palate, and honestly kind of that sitting still moment that we just touched on a minute ago. It like helps for that, where it's like I just have to be present. There's also like an audio aspect to it, like just being able to hear the waves, you know? But in terms of how it relates to the brand, that's part of the question too. In terms of how it relates to the brand, I would say for me, stereotypically, beach people and coastal people are like really chill, really mellow. I would say I try and infuse that part of me into the brand as well. I do make some crazier, louder pieces, but overall I feel like I want to make something that is fairly approachable, and versatile, and like kind of just like laid back. So.
I have some words here. You just check whichever box aligns with your brand a little more. These are all pretty random words. This is exercise I really like, though, and I'm going to get better at. But you're here to grow with me, so we're going to check which box represents our brand more, and then we'll kind of elaborate on it.
How many? One box?
Yeah. That one's hard for me. Got to go there, though. Yeah, I kind of have an advantage as I get to make these questions. All right, this one we're not going to show you guys. I'll put like a picture of it up there because you're not going to be able to see these small letters. But basically, we're choosing between masculine, feminine, gray and orange, modern and classic, professional, casual, fun or serious, and sporty or elegant as what speaks to our brand more. Um, I'll start first. I went masculine because when I made my brand, I was originally making it for men. I can't lie. My mom is who got me into clothes. So she's been on my back. You need to make dresses. You need to make this. And I actually just got the inspiration to do like a complete women's collection. But still, I'd say like my favorite woman outfit is like a girl in baggy clothes and like a small t-shirt. So like it's kind of masculine. It's kind of like a tomboy. Like you gotta, if you're gonna be my girlfriend, you gotta have a tomboy bag. I love dresses and heels and stuff, but if you don't got a tomboy bag, I'm kind of mad because I feel like that's harder to do anyway. So yeah, I'm going masculine. Gray or orange, going gray because I'm in love with like the parking structure, like the parking deck. Like I love how that feels. I feel like we're steel, we're gray more than we are like a pop color. Yeah. Modern or classic, when I think of this, I think about the brand new iPad. And I just see like people who buy my brand are also people who like have iPads. It's a certain type of person. But like I just feel like you got my brand, you got an iPad. Not every, because it's hard to find a reason to even need that. Exactly. You know what I mean? Professional, casual. I chose professional. It's like it is casual, but like I'm very high strung on pushing this. Like I want it to be at like professional dinner parties and stuff like that. I want you to feel like you can go from work straight to the dinner party in my brand. So I went professional. Also, same thing with fun or serious. I went serious because I want to be taken serious. I want it to feel like I want you to have fun in it, but I want it to translate. You know what I mean? I want it to translate to places you can go and not have to be seen as like, why don't he got on a button up or something? And then sporty, elegant. I want sporty just because I'm functional. I want to be able to pull all types of things out my pocket. My chapstick needs to be in there. I need like my hoodie to turn into a bag just in case I need to carry the bev and snack. You know?
First row, I chose masculine. Very much for the same reasons that you did. I mean, definitely focus on menswear. I do think about it and kind of gear towards being like unisex and androgynous for sure. But I will second you when it comes to women. I appreciate a baggy fit. Cute girl in a baggy fit is undefeated. Undefeated. I chose gray over orange. I'm wearing all black right now. I know, with a little orange. Oh shit! But the orange is the accent, and the black is the focus. I know your color palette, so I knew which one you were gonna go on with this. But I feel like actually, I have a little bit more of an in-depth answer for this one because for my brand, I've almost noticed that there's like two different worlds. I do have this bright, almost colorful, like playful world that I have, but then I also have the darker tones or the earth tones, and in terms of imagery, it's a little bit more like almost like a cult, like spiritual energy to it. And yeah, it has a different feeling. But I think if I was gonna have to choose one, like I said, I went with the gray. I chose classic over modern because most of the stuff that I'm reworking is vintage, and I just really enjoy like classic silhouettes. And I think in some sense I want to innovate, of course, but in some sense, like I'm not really trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to the types of pieces that I'm making, and those types of pieces that I'm drawn to, like a chore coat or like a certain cut of trousers. Like they've been around for as long as they've been around and are still in rotation, like for a reason. I chose casual over professional. I think partially just because I don't know how professional I in terms of like being in professional spaces. Yeah, I'm the type of dude that'll like show up to the wedding in like something that is very casual, where it's like if you went any more casual, it would probably be unacceptable. I chose fun over serious, but now that I answered this, the fun over serious, I chose fun. But now I'm like, ooh, this is the one I'm probably most on the fence for, because like I just said, it comes back to those two different kind of worlds within the ancient youth universe. It's almost like two different planets within the ancient youth universe, where I said like one is fun and one is a little bit more serious. I don't know. I would say this is the one that I'm probably most on the fence for. So I chose sporty over elegant pretty much for the same reasons that you did too. It's like I'm an active person. I like function. And I do think that there is kind of like, when I think of elegant, sometimes I think of like uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like comfort is key for me. Obviously the aesthetic is important too, but it's like if it's not comfortable, I'm probably not gonna be.
It's interesting too because I got this list off of like Google, and when I seen sporty versus elegant, I was like, damn, I never knew that was the other side. Yeah. But it kind of is like either you're elegant or you're sporty. You're not really both. It's like because elegant, I kind of relate that to like some form of lack of comfort as well.
For
usually,
sure. For sure. And like I know for me, like
stiff.
I've grown up skating. And skating is still a huge part of my life. And I see now that I'm like in fashion and making clothes where even if I'm wearing something that is totally non-skate related, like in a literal sense, I see where the skate influence, or like I grew up playing soccer and around soccer. Like I see where that soccer influence is like embedded itself into my style, not even in a conscious way. Like it's just there, you know?
Right. Word. You guys just got to learn a little bit more about our brand as well as we did. I hope you guys incorporate some of these practices into yours. What is next is my pal Weaver will be styling himself in some of my brand, and you'll get to see him do that as he describes how he feels and maybe some places he would go in those fits. We're back on the Fork and Knife show. We have
Weaver, and
he's going to be showing you guys how to style some fork and knife pieces, as well as telling you how he feels, where he'd go in them, and just giving you a description. That's a little bit how you feel right now. How these clothes make you feel.
This, personally, I've actually been waiting to wear this because these are my favorite pieces from you. The black pieces with the contrast stitching. These pants are incredible. It's my first time seeing them in person. I'm a baggy guy. So this is like my preference for sure. Even though I cuffed it, my favorite detail is this stitching down by the ankle. This white stitching is probably my favorite detail on these whole pants. But yeah, this actually checks a lot of the boxes that we were like talking about earlier in terms of like color palette. I love to wear all black, but it's also like, it has like this elegance about it, even though it's super casual. I would wear this anywhere. I would wear this to the grocery store. I would wear this to a nice dinner. So versatile for sure. Oh, big function. Yeah, I was about to say, you already know I would skate in this right now. Like a good gauge of comfort, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like when I think about something, I put it on. Like even when I saw when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I would skate in that. And I put it on. I was like, yeah, easy. So the same goes for this. I would go skate in this right now. I'm feeling great. I mean, like I said, when I put the tee on, or I was actually going to put the hoodie on first, I wanted to put the tee on under it because I'm big on like layering. Great. I love the long sleeves. It's like when you're chilling. When it's time to get down to work, you're getting down to work. The hands can be used for any and everything. Yeah, super comfortable. I like the weight of it too. Like it's not too heavy. It's not too light. It's perfect for like LA fall and winter for sure. And then at a moment's notice, like you're in the dojo, like you just, working on jutsus and things of that nature. Yeah, exactly. I'm loving it. I love monochromatic fits, so as I said with the last one, this is perfect for me. And like the cargo shorts, I like that there's only a pocket on one. This is calling to my skateboarding roots for sure. Super comfortable. I like these, like the shorts, are they waxed? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love like there's like a sturdiness, and it feels like workwear. It almost feels like vintage workwear. The shorts do, and yeah, the tees, like I didn't really comment on the tee for the last fit, but the tees are like a really good weight as well, and I love like the drop shoulder, and I like the length of them too. Like obviously, I know you like the boxy fit. I like it as well. I think to make a t-shirt feel like a little bit higher class is like there's definitely an art to that. It's like perfecting like the basics.
All right, guys. So this is the end of the interview with me and
Weaver.
We thank you guys. Hope you enjoy. You can follow him at
the Ancient Youth or at Weavepancho.
And you know where to follow me. Thank you guys.
That's up.
See you soon.
Thank you for having me. I can be semi-specific.
You can be as specific or broad as you want. You could go, it's a SUV, or you could go, it's a 1992 Jeep goddamn Wrangler. That's the only Jeep name I know, is Wrangler. Oh, actually, I'm tripping. I know another name.